Good morning. Hey, we're on our first episode this morning of On Eufaula Streets with Janiece. Guess what? I'm Janiece. And guess what? We're on the street. I'm excited to get to do this today. I really want to thank Eufaula Chamber and their ambassadors for putting this together. I think it's a great idea to get you up to speed on what's going on around town. So I think we're going to have some fun with it. Also, starting in our next episode, we'll be utilizing the Eufaula High School East team, that's EAST, that's Miss Aday's group, and they're going to be doing the filming and editing. But in the meantime, this morning, I got my man Brian Vess doing the filming for me. So, this morning, one of the things that we're going to be doing to kick this off is to go inside here at City Hall and talk with our new city manager, Jacob Booz. So we'll have a lot of things to talk with him about. So come on in and let's see if we can find Jacob. Here we go. Pumpkins, flowers. It's beginning to look like fall. So come on in and we're going to visit with Jacob, see what we can find out about what's going on the streets of Eufaula. And there's Jacob. Look, I found him. Hey, Jacob, it's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Y'all, this is City Manager Jacob Booz, and Jacob, who's in the room with us today?
This is our utility billing clerk, Sybil Swepston.
Hey, Sybil.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for having us today. Let's come on in and we'll
Come on in.
sit down and chat a little bit. Come on. Jacob, here we are in your office, and I see that you have a lot of boxes stacked up here.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that, aren't we?
We are.
Just a little bit?
Yes.
Okay. So that's for a future conversation. Well, Jacob, we wanted to welcome you to our first edition of On the Streets with Janiece.
I appreciate you having me on here.
Yeah. Now, how long have you been with us here in Eufaula?
Just since May.
Since
Not
May.
Too long.
Yeah. Well, you've gotten a bucket load of work to do, haven't you?
Absolutely, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, tell me a little bit about yourself. Where do you come from?
I was born in Enid, but raised in Chandler, Arizona. Moved back to Oklahoma about 8 years ago now.
Did you? Did you? What's your college education?
Bachelor's degree in political leadership from the University of Oklahoma.
Great.
And I've been in municipal government work for about 7 years now.
Awesome. Well, we're glad to have you.
It's good to be here.
Well, some of the things that we wanted to talk about today, leading past that conversation, is, a few years ago, Eufaula changed our form of government from an elected mayor to city manager. Could you give us just a little bit of explanation of the differences of that?
Yeah. So just some basics on local government. We're under the statutory council manager form of government. The role of the city manager, they're hired by the council and mayor. They're hired to manage the daily operations of the city and to make policy recommendations to the council and to oversee the employees of the city. The council serves as a legislative body to set the policies of the city, to pass city ordinances, and to establish the city budget. The city manager oversees the daily operations, whereas the council and mayor determine the long-term vision of the city and make sure that that's carried out. Great.
That's a really good and concise answer. Yeah. Thank you. Because there's been some confusion, and people just aren't really used to that here.
Yeah.
And I know in a lot of major cities and other small towns that's been a really popular way to go.
Absolutely.
Right? Because you have some of the training and background in the management of city business. Great. Thank you for clarifying that for us. Well, one of the other things that we wanted to talk with you about is that the city has recently hired a new business development group. Can you talk a little bit about that?
The council voted about a month ago now to hire the retail coach. Their local office we're working with is out of Austin, Texas. There will actually be an article in the paper in the next week or two to give some details on it also.
Good.
Their primary focus, currently right now, they're finishing up a research plan for us and developing the marketing materials. But that's just the first step. The rest of the contract period for the next 11 months, they're going to be doing full-time recruitment for the city of Eufaula to get retail businesses in our city limits.
So looking for valuable economic businesses that can bring economic structure.
Yes.
Okay, and jobs.
Yes, that's the goal.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Do they partner with any other local companies, or they strictly do their own?
They do their own
program.
They have relationships built up with the national and regional businesses though. I shouldn't name any because I get someone's hopes up on a particular restaurant or something.
Sure.
But they work with many cities around the state and around the country, and so that they're very familiar with what businesses are looking for specifically. A lot of times it's a numbers game. They want to make sure that the traffic count's just right. They want to make sure their location is ideal for the type of business that they have, and so they know what will meet the needs of that business and how to recruit them.
Okay. Yeah, because we all have names of businesses we'd like to see here, but financially those businesses isn't the market for them. But there could be other things equally as good. Great. Well, we look forward to hearing more about that. The other thing that we wanted to talk with you about, kind of a sensitive issue, is the water treatment infrastructure, how that's going to be fixed and funded.
Yeah. So really our number one issue since I've started, and before that, has been water infrastructure.
Absolutely.
We've had several instances, even since I've been here, where we've had to shut the water off for the town. And some people think that we can plan it ahead of time, and oftentimes that's not the case. It's a true emergency.
It just breaks.
It does. It breaks. And so what the council just approved last night, actually, was a loan application to the Oklahoma Water Resource Board, just over $7 million.
And what will they do?
They're going to replace water lines. Is going to be the primary use of that funds.
Excellent, excellent. How old do you think our water infrastructure is, those water lines?
It ranges. We've got some newer ones that we replace, but probably on average between 40 and 60 years old.
Wow, wow.
Another issue that we're going to address with this improvement is putting in isolation valves throughout the system.
What is that?
That's so if you get a break on a line, you've got a valve on one end and the other that you can turn it off and isolate that portion so that you can make the repair but leave the water flowing for the rest of the community.
Okay, so you wouldn't disrupt businesses and other things like that that depend on the water.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. Okay, great. So we'll be keeping up with you on that.
Good.
And the other thing that we wanted to talk about with regard to check his boxes, you know, he's got a lot of stuff here, and I've noticed that it's unusually packed up in the rest of the building.
Yes.
So tell us what's happening with City Hall.
So I'll give you a little bit of background on City Hall. We had it tested a couple months ago, and it was identified that there's mold in the building. It's not airborne, so it's okay for us to be in here right now.
But it's not surprising.
Yeah. But if we were to need to make any repairs or to go and fix it, we would have to vacate the building during that process. And so we've been looking for an alternate location to stay at, either for a short period of time to remediate the mold in this building, or for a little bit longer to decide what our options are. So we just approved last night a lease agreement with the former location for the Health and Wellness Center up by the old hospital.
Yes. Have lots of room there.
Yes, plenty of room.
Great.
And they've actually been, it's Stigler Health and Wellness. They have been so gracious, they've offered it to us for $1 a year.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
That's a blessing.
And so it was
wonderful.
one that we just couldn't turn down because it will allow us to figure out exactly what we want to do without being pressured. We can make a good decision, and we're not wasting taxpayer monies on leasing out a facility.
Excellent. Man, I wish I could find $1 a year.
Absolutely.
Rent?
That'd be great.
That's great. Well, just to kind of show you an example of some of the things that are happening with the building, here's some, I don't know if you can get that on camera, Brian, right behind you, the window, some of the issues that we have.
Yeah.
And it makes for very unpleasant working conditions when your employees have to deal with those kinds of things.
Yeah, I'll get about a gallon of water come through there during a good rainstorm.
My goodness. You don't want to put anything valuable over there.
No.
Right. Well, we're looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
Now, how will that impact how customers and city residents interact with you?
We haven't set the exact date yet for when we'll make the move. The plan is to do it before Thanksgiving, but we're going to meet as staff and determine what the easiest will be on the residents to make sure we don't do it the day that bills are due.
Oh yeah, that's a busy day.
Yes, absolutely. Ideally, though, it would be an overnight move for the billing clerk, who gets the primary visitor traffic from residents, and the rest would be moved throughout the day, but there would be limited interruption for residents. Awesome.
Good. It's a little drive up the hill, but it'll be a much more pleasant experience for everybody. Great. Okay. I guess the next thing we wanted to talk about is, how do you suggest that viewers of this video and residents in the community follow what's going on. I know we have our local newspaper,
Yes.
and they can come in and chat with you, but
They're
what's a
more
good
than
way
welcome
for
to.
people to keep up with what's going on?
We've got a city Facebook page, which is great. We've got a city website that's got a lot of information on it.
So how do we get to that Facebook site? Is it just Eufaula
City of Eufaula, Oklahoma, I think is the
City
name
of
of it.
Eufaula, Oklahoma.
Yes.
Okay, and the website?
Is cityofeufaulaok.com.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll get that put up on our Facebook page
Yeah.
as well with the chamber so that people know. So I'm assuming that tells them current agendas.
It does.
Information about where to pay or how to get services.
Yeah.
Things like that.
And they can always come to council meetings. Normally those are set for the first Monday of the month. But we've got the calendar of council meetings online, so they're
now
very well
tell people
accessible.
where they can attend a council meeting.
They're held at the community center on First and High Street.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I remember when we used to have them back here, and it got a little crowded.
Yes.
And hard to hear.
I'm sure.
So,
Yeah.
good. Well, it sounds like you've got some exciting things going on, Jacob. You're doing a great job, and we appreciate you so much taking the time for our premiere
Yes.
event here.
This is very exciting.
Good.
I'm
good.
looking forward to watching the next
Good.
ones come out.
So, how do you like those iron hands?
They're doing great.
Great.
Yeah.
Great this year, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's fun and
It's
exciting.
exciting. It
Good.
is.
Good. Well, before we end today, Jacob, I wanted to make sure and bring to everybody's attention some of the things that are be going on
Yeah.
over the next month. Have you got just a minute
Absolutely.
to listen to me talk
Yes,
about that?
I want to hear.
The first thing that's coming up is November 24th, and that's going to be our Small Business Saturday. Now, that's a national event that I believe was started by American Express and has just expanded. But what Eufaula is going to do, first of all, we want you to come out and shop local. Shop with your local businesses, because if you don't, that's just other businesses that will go away, and we won't have those services.
Yes.
And you
if
know,
I could jump
yes,
in on
please.
that, the city is primarily funded through sales tax. We don't receive property or income tax like a lot of cities do in other states. So shopping local is what keeps our city running.
It keeps the revenue stream
It
coming.
does.
Absolutely. And you know, the majority of the businesses in small towns, particularly Eufaula, are small independent
Yes.
businesses. So it's an important part of our economy.
Absolutely.
So I encourage that. Additionally, that day, there's going to be a lighted boat parade through Eufaula Cove. So during the day when people are shopping, they can get little, they call them golden tickets, and you can use those for discounts at local restaurants. But I believe like Cat Daddy's and Jellystone and Stuffed Olive and the Cove, you'll be able to eat dinner and watch the boat parade. So that'll be fun.
Great. Yes.
And then December 1st, if I've got that date right, is the Heartland Bazaar at the Armory during the day. And then at 5:30 that evening on December 1st, I believe this is our first in a long time to have a Christmas parade at night.
I think you're right.
Yeah, so
We're
that's going to
excited.
be fun. Santa will be here.
Yeah.
Then December 8th, another exciting thing, we're doing a lighting of Posey Park. So the Chamber and their ambassadors have put together this program, and we're going to have it all lit up, and we have sponsors for trees. We'll have Santa Claus there. There'll be Christmas music, and they're doing something really sweet and special to my heart. Special dedication to our local children who've been battling with cancer. So we're so pleased that we're able to honor those. Now that's from 6:30 to 8:30, and of course we'll be putting out more information. Then the fun just keeps going through December. December 15th is Chocolate Lovers Festival.
Oh,
do you like
be
chocolate?
Good. Yes, I do. I love chocolate.
I do too. I do too. And participating merchants are going to have chocolate treat while you're shopping.
That'd be good.
That's good. I can shop like that with chocolate. Then December 22nd is Shop Eufaula for your last minute items.
Oh, yeah.
And here's the kicker. You can get free wrapping.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Makes
so,
it easy.
All-inclusive deal. So those are just some of the things that are coming up, sponsored by your Eufaula Chamber and our merchants and City Hall's involved, and we're just so glad to have this partnership. So once again, thank you for joining us on this very first edition of Eufaula Streets with Janiece, and we'll see you next time.